If you feel lazy, unmotivated, or stuck, the problem is probably not what you think it is. Most people believe they are waiting for motivation, confidence, or the right moment. But what they are actually waiting for is permission to avoid discomfort. And that quiet habit is costing them years of progress. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Motivation is not missing from your life. It is being replaced by something far more seductive. Mental reward without effort. Every time you imagine your future success, talk about your plans, or think deeply about what you could become, your brain releases a small sense of satisfaction. It feels productive. It feels meaningful. But nothing has changed. This is one of the most common traps intelligent people fall into. Thinking becomes a substitute for doing. The more ambitious your goals are, the more dangerous this trap becomes. Big visions feel inspiring, but they also create distance. When the goal feels far away, your mind looks for comfort instead of progress. You research more, you plan more, you wait to feel ready. And because readiness never arrives, action is postponed again and again. This is not laziness. It is avoidance disguised as preparation. Most people do not fail because they lack discipline. They fail because they misunderstand how discipline works. They believe discipline comes from feeling driven, inspired, or confident. In reality, discipline is built after action, not before it. Action creates evidence. Evidence creates belief. Belief creates momentum. When you reverse this order and wait to feel motivated first, you break the entire system. There is another mistake that keeps people stuck. They try to change their life in dramatic bursts. They wait for a surge of energy, a new week, a new month, or a powerful emotional moment. When that moment fades, so does their effort. Sustainable change never works this way. The people who quietly outperform everyone else do something far less exciting. They lower the emotional requirement to act. Instead of asking, "Do I feel like doing this?" they ask, "What is the smallest version of this action I can complete today?" Not tomorrow, not when conditions improve. Today. Small actions feel insignificant, but they bypass resistance. They require no inspiration, and because they are repeatable, they create identity change over time. This is where most people get it wrong. They think small actions are pointless because they do not feel impressive. But the goal of a small action is not immediate results. The goal is consistency. Consistency removes decision fatigue. When something becomes part of your routine, it no longer depends on emotion. It simply happens. Over time, these small actions compound in ways that motivation never can. Skills deepen. Confidence grows quietly. Resistance weakens. What once felt difficult becomes automatic. Meanwhile, those who waited for motivation are still waiting, still planning, still wondering why nothing changes. Another critical shift is understanding that discomfort is not a signal to stop. It is a signal that change is happening. Most people interpret discomfort as something wrong. In reality, it is simply unfamiliarity. Growth always feels awkward at first. The problem is not discomfort itself, but the habit of escaping it. When you train yourself to act while feeling tired, uncertain, or uninspired, you build something far more valuable than motivation. You build self-trust. You prove to yourself that your actions are not controlled by your mood. That trust becomes the foundation of discipline. This is why relying on emotion is so dangerous. Emotions change daily. Commitments do not. When you decide in advance what kind of person you are going to be, action becomes less personal. You are no longer negotiating with your feelings. You are simply honoring a standard. The people who create meaningful change are not stronger than you. They are not more motivated than you. They have simply stopped waiting. They act when conditions are imperfect. They move when energy is low. They start before they feel ready. And because of that, readiness eventually finds them. If there is one lesson to take from this, it is this. Your future is not shaped by your intentions, your plans, or your motivation. It is shaped by what you do repeatedly when no one is watching and nothing feels exciting yet. You do not need a breakthrough moment. You need a non-negotiable habit. You do not need inspiration. You need a commitment that survives boredom. And you do not need to feel ready. You need to begin. Because the ability to act without motivation is not just discipline. It is freedom. And once you master it, you are no longer waiting for your life to start. You are building it, one small action at a time.